questions. Asking ourselves questions will be the thing, and the mental thing, that helps us break this repeated cycle of dieting. So if you want to stop dieting, break this cycle forever, then keep watching, because I have got 5 questions that you can ask yourself to stop the dieting. So hi, I'm Vanessa McLennan, a clinical hypnotherapist, and I help people to lose weight by working on the emotional and psychological side of eating. So before we begin though, please click on the subscribe button, click on the bell to be notified of my next videos. Do you know what? Diets will never work in the long term. We have to fit our lives around them, fit this, alien way, new way of eating that might be just completely out of our comfort zone, out of our zone of normality, that is just really weird to fit into. So, it's inevitable that sometimes we fall off. Now, I liken it to, imagine someone says to you, instead of driving your car, get the train, right? The train is really nice, you just sit back, you relax, and you get there far quicker. So from now onwards, take the train, all right? And so for a short while you take the train and you really like it, and you're like, this works really well. But one day you have to go somewhere differently, so you take the car, and then another day you have to perhaps get to your destination at a different time, or something changes, so again you have to take the car. Now imagine turning this around on ourselves and going, oh God, I have to take the car today, I'm useless, I'm not very good, oh, I'm really rubbish at this sort of thing, oh, it's my fault, I'm just not built for taking the car. It's like, what? Our situation has changed, so we adapted ourselves to taking the car. And then, but what we do is we do this on a diet. We think it's all our fault because, we've inevitably fallen off something that is going to be hard to stick to. But what we do is we jump straight back on the train again, going, no, I've got to stick to the train is my answer, and we go straight back on it again. And of course then the cycle repeats itself. So if we want to break this and sort of break the negative side of it, instead of perhaps telling ourselves off or telling us what we've got to do, because we all know what we've got to do, but we've got to question ourselves so we can get curious and learn to what's inside there and what answers we have. So keep watching, here are 5 questions for you. First question, how many times have you been on a diet in the last 6 months? Now, if you've been on a diet more than once, it suggests to me that the diet is not doing what it should do for you, because the idea of a diet is that it gives you guidelines of how much to eat, perhaps when to eat, and just what foods are good to eat. So if you find yourself that you've been on quite a few diets within the last 6 months, it also tells me that something's not working for you, and it could be that you are emotionally eating. So in other words, it's your emotions or something unconscious is driving you to go and eat. Now, if you keep telling yourself off that, oh, you're useless, please stop, don't keep doing that, okay? Because it's just, look, diets are not designed to work for the long term. Question number 2, am I dieting to fix something or to learn something? Chances are most of us go on a diet to fix something. The weight is creeping up, we don't like it, I've got to make changes, so the thing I'm going to do is go on a diet. And we are perhaps expecting this diet to fix us and then last forever. And sometimes if we're emotionally eating, it just doesn't work like that. Sorry to tell you that. So next time you go on a diet, learn something about yourself. So the idea of a diet is that it's a guideline and it's telling you what's healthy perhaps, or healthier options, portion sizes, right? So use that as a guideline and then learn about yourself as to how much you are off from that guideline. Look at yourself to go, what poor habits do I have? And then the idea is to ask yourself, what small positive changes can I make today and each day to help me in the long run get to where I want to be? Question number 3, do you have the mentality that if you eat something you perceive that you shouldn't have, you go, oh, sorry, I've ruined my diet anyway, so I might as well ruin it completely, and you go all out and you binge on everything? If you do, it's that mindset that's keeping you stuck in this diet cycle. You see, you are restricting ourselves, and by restricting, we automatically want the foods that we're telling ourselves that we can't have. So it's natural that we go, I want it, so we go and have it. However, so if we're to say to ourselves, right, no, nothing is off limits, allow yourself whatever food that you want, right? It doesn't mean, just trust in yourself, it doesn't mean that you're going to go and binge on that food, all right? It just means that you will actually start to find a happy balance between having the foods that you really like and also really healthy foods. And also you learn then how to also sort of what your eating patterns and how to balance them. Question number 4. Do you turn to food when you are stressed, bored, angry, for any emotion? So if you find yourself, going to foods again and again, you may know that yes, you are probably an emotional eater. Now that's not a label that I want to put on. So you're just perhaps using food as a way of covering up your emotions. And it doesn't matter how many diets you go on, no diet will be able to cancel out your emotions. So we're human, we have a range of emotions, and to be human is to also feel these emotions, but also to be, getting used to these emotions and to know that they're not going to be overwhelming, that actually you can manage and cope with any emotion. But the more times that you go on a diet, you're almost like cancelling that out and stopping yourself from feeling those emotions, and hence you're going to go back even more to food because the emotions are still going to be there. So get off the diet, all right, and just learn to sit and feel the emotions, because they will always be there. Question number 5. Ask yourself, do I feel guilty after eating something I perceive I shouldn't have? A lot of the time, when we've restricted ourselves, then we've gone out and we've perhaps wanted that thing that we've told ourselves that we can't have, so then we go and eat it. And a lot of the time then we feel guilty for like, oh, we've fallen off, our wagon, we've fallen off the diet, we've gone and had something that we shouldn't have, that is bad of us. Well, I think there's the issue, labelling ourselves one bad for eating just a food. But also, the guilt is perhaps not actually about the food, even though we might think it is. It probably goes way back to our childhood, or where we perhaps were like told off by parents or school teachers, whoever, that we have done something wrong, or we have upset somebody, we've made somebody angry, and then that's been perhaps manipulated or turned around into then us, or we then feel guilty for it. And the chances are, if we're looking at it in an existential, humanistic way, we perhaps haven't done anything wrong. And I think that's the key to this. If you're feeling guilt, is going back to like, what is it exactly in my childhood that I felt guilty about? What did I do that I'm perceiving is wrong that I feel guilty about? And actually then asking yourself, did I really do anything wrong? Was I just being me? And was I just being a child? Was I just learning along the way? Was it someone else's reaction to what I said, but then I am choosing to feel guilty? So good question to ponder, and good to go back and look at your childhood for that one.